Hello everyone, and welcome to the final video and series reveal for the 2022 Secret Soap collection. Now, I will not be talking about anything revealing until we get past the making of the last soap. So I'm not gonna tell you anything here in the first part of this video. Don't go read the comments if you want to be surprised and want to put in your final guess mentally, okay? Because I promise you there's going to be spoilers down there. There 100% will be. The outro will be in a different area that I'm in right now. I'll probably be wearing something different as well. I have a whole sheet I'm going to try to stick to. I'm going to try not to go off too far into La La Land with this whole thing because I really could talk for probably an hour on the subject. So yeah, let's go ahead, make the final soap in the series. You guys can guess. We'll give you time to do that before we do the final image reveal at the end, and then I will talk about the whole series and what inspired it, what each individual soap represents, and also the fragrances that accompany all the soaps and the giveaway, of course. So lots of goody fun stuff. I can't wait. I bet you people have no idea what I'm about to do. What? Put the lye water solution in the oils. Well, what a clever guess. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, y'all, watch this. Now, I've got two accent colors for this batch, and they're both variations of the one color. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So let me just pour a little of this soap batter into this container right here. Then we'll pour a little more soap batter into this container right here. Anyway, a little of this into my magic potion bucket, and we're gonna add a little of this in too. I didn't add any oil to this one because this particular colorant gets really gloopy and gross with oil. There's you a hint, because I have used it before, many times in fact. Boop. Put a little of that into this one, and a little of something else into this one. Ooh. Now, as far as the fragrance oil is concerned, I have used this before. It's a really, really good one, but I haven't used it in a really long time. So there you go. That's all you get to know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and blend these up real quick. I'm not gonna blend a super long time though, because this fragrance oil does accelerate. All right, so here are my three colors. I'm going to pour this first one into our little container here, right into the middle. Gonna scrapey that out. And now we can pour our second accent in right to the middle and scrape that as well. And then I'm gonna let this set up for just a minute. It's getting a little thicker, so I'll probably only give it 90 seconds or so. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and pour into my molds. I'm gonna make one stripe down the middle, just like so. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make another stripe right down the middle. And I'm gonna continue to do this until I fill up the mold. All right, so here is my soap frosting all ready to go. We're gonna do our classic 3, 2, 1 across the top. I hope you guys have loved the Secret Soap series this year. I know it was a little easier to guess than other years, but as you will see at the end of the video, it was just very important to me. It made a lot of sense. I actually designed the entire collection in one day because it just fell into place, and I had actually a lot of help from Caroline and Caleb, and they kind of just helped me knock it out. I originally had a different idea for the Secret Soap series this year, and they were like, well, what about this? You love it so much. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And we brainstormed through some ideas together, and yeah, it all just kind of fell into place like it was supposed to. And that always is so incredibly gratifying as an artist, I can tell ya. A good bit of the soap frosting is going to be sped up because this video is already going to be so long with all of the unveiling at the end of it. So enjoy all of this quick B-roll. And this is the glitter going on top. And this is what our soap looks like all completed. So we'll be back in 18 to 24 hours to cut these loaves into bars after this quick commercial break. All right, guys, the final soap in the collection. This soap is actually really soft and it's been sitting for a few days. So I don't know what's going on. It has been so hot in Texas. There is no reason for this behavior, but I digress. Can't do anything about it now, and I've let it sit as long as I can. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it up anyway. Gonna line it up with my cutter here. Press down gently. Wow, you didn't even get a satisfying click. That's how you know it is super soft. All right. Pull this out, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So note the color variation on the sides versus the inside of the bar. That means it's going to discolor as it sits. It is time for the reveal of the 2022 Secret Soap Series theme. And I am so happy to say that it is, in fact, the Chronicles of Narnia, a 7-book children's series written by C.S. Lewis. These books have been inspiring children for many, many years, and they have even made 3 major motion pictures inspired by them. So if you have never heard of the Chronicles of Narnia and you haven't read the book series, you may want to stop watching because this video might contain some key details, maybe even some spoilers. And if I were you, I would skip to this part of the video where I talk about the giveaway, because I will be giving away an entire collection of the books and some other Narnia themed memorabilia and really cute knickknacks to make your reading time even more delightful, and it will feature some small shops as well. I am filming this in my son Will's room, which, as you guys know, is literary inspired. I also invited my 2 cats, Huckle and Basil, who's on the floor, to join me for filming this. I just thought they would make it feel all the more special and enchanted. So let's talk a little bit about why I chose this theme. Believe it or not, I actually had a completely different soap theme picked out for the Secret Soap collection this year. It was something that I thought was going to be really fun, but when I went to design it, it just didn't work. Like, I just wasn't inspired when it actually came time to make those designs. So as I was sitting there and I was kind of in a time crunch and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. All my ideas are flying out the window. My best friend Caroline and my husband Caleb were like, why don't you do Narnia? You've always said you wanted to do Narnia. I have made a Narnia inspired soap in the past. It was actually part of a previous Secret Soap series, one that was well in our past. It was the Literary Masterpiece collection, for those who remember. And I was like, that's a great point. I have talked about doing that. And as soon as I kind of agreed to think about it, I had almost all 7 designs completely created within 2 hours. So it was definitely the right timing. It was just time to do it. I made 1 soap inspired by each one of the books, and we did upload them out of order so that we could throw a few red herrings at you guys and see if it would throw you off the scent a little. The final disclaimer would be that while I absolutely love the Narnia books, there are a couple of them that I didn't enjoy quite as much as the rest of the series. So to keep you guys guessing and to keep everything authentic, I did throw a few curveballs with those books, and I focused on some minor characters and minor details in the books instead of like a major character character and a major recreation. The best example of this is actually the first soap we're going to be talking about. This is Secret Soap #1. It is inspired by book #4, that is Prince Caspian, and in that book, Caspian comes to meet some other true Narnians as he escapes his wicked uncle King Miraz, and a few of the true Narnians include 3 bulgy bears, and they give Prince Caspian as a gift some honey, and they're such cuddly characters. And so when there's a huge climactic fight at the end of the book, they actually turn around and tell the bulgy bears, hey, stop sucking your paws over there, you're making us look weak. They were always my favorite characters in that book. I'm sorry to everyone who just loved Prince Caspian and his tutor. I loved the bulgy bears. It was authentic to me, and it was the perfect thing to do first because it threw so many people off. They all thought it was Winnie the Pooh. The Bulgy Bear soap is scented with oatmeal milk and honey from Nature's Garden. Of course, I mean, come on. The next soap we uploaded is called Desert Ride, and it is inspired by the 3rd Narnia book called The Horse and His Boy. And in that book, there is a scene where a young boy, Shasta, and his horse, Bree, ride in the desert at night. And there's a moon so they can kind of see where they're going, and they get chased by another creature. I won't tell you what, but it is a very, very large part of that story. Desert Ride is scented with flowering sage. This is from Brambleberry. It has this really, really lovely scent accord. It's a little bit mysterious. It has sort of an oriental spice smell, which to me was very reminiscent of the land that Shasta was in at the time, called Colorman. It has a lot of Middle East sort of traditional vibes like that. So it was a perfect combination. This is definitely one of my favorite soaps in the series. #3. This is the soap that we turned on its side that I told you guys had a stamp, but I couldn't show you what, and that is because it is inspired by book #2, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So as you can see here, we have on one side the wardrobe with a lock, and on the other side we have the lamppost to symbolize the first time that Lucy walked through the coats through the back of the wardrobe and into the magical land of Narnia. If I could only pick one book from the Narnia series, this would be the one. You can read this book by itself and never read any of the other books, and it is a complete story that makes total sense, and it has just the most profound impact. This is also the most popular of the films. So if you've seen the film, I highly recommend the book. They did such a good job with the movie. And whenever I think of Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, it is the actors in that movie that I visualize in my mind because they did such a good job at portraying the characters. The fragrance for this is a custom blend by me that you are welcome to use in your creations. It is a 50-50 blend of frost and snowdrops from Nature's Garden and applewood fir needle by Nature's Garden. I am calling this blend Into the Wardrobe, and I will have a little graphic that I put on Instagram within the next couple of days that you are free to screenshot and use at your leisure in your upcoming winter soaps. Secret soap #4 is right here. It is inspired by the 5th book in Narnia called The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and I can already feel myself getting emotional, and I'll try to choke it back. But in that book, there is a very brave little mouse, and his name is 𝘰𝘰𝑐, and at the very end, he sails away into an undying land called Aslan's Country through the water lilies. That is why we have white flowers on the top, and he wears a little red feather on the side of one of his ears. That's why we have the red feather. And then the stamp, of course, that I didn't show you is his little boat heading off into the sunset. This book is my 2nd favorite in the entire collection. It is so, so, so good. 𝘰𝘰𝑐 is just the most delightful character, and it was funny because as we were designing this and talking about it, both Caroline and I saw people out in public that had 𝘰𝘰𝑐 tattoos, and I was like, it's a sign. This is gonna be great. Where Sky and Water Meet is scented with Aruba Shores from Nature's Garden. It is a bit tropical, a bit fruity, a bit sweet. And they actually talk about that in the book, that the waters smell a little bit sweet. There is a wonderful, here I go, there's a wonderful poem. I'll put it on the screen now because there's no way I'll be able to read that. It just, oof, if you've read the book, it hits really hard and you're just rooting for 𝘰𝘰𝑥𝐻 to get the most majestic end, and he does. So I won't tell you anymore. You should read the book. Number 5 looks like this. This is our frosty, wintry snowflake soap, and it is inspired by something talked about in the 6th book, The Silver Chair. Now, this is one of those books, admittedly, I personally didn't love that much. It's been a long time since I've read it though, so I might have to go back and read it again, give it another try. But the one thing that I remember being completely captivated by was the beautiful description of the snow dance. Essentially, one of the characters happens upon a group of animals celebrating the first snow with a snow dance, and it is some of the most beautiful written imagery I have ever read. This soap was also designed to throw you off a little, but I had no idea that so many people were going to think of the White Witch, who is a featured character in the first book and the second book quite a bit. She has a few little sneaky parts in some of the rest of the books, but a lot of people were like, hey, I think that's the White Witch's winter. So it wasn't as sneaky as I thought it was going to be. This is another custom fragrance blend that I am calling Snow Dance. It is a 50-50 blend of peppermint from Nature's Garden and almond from Nature's Garden. The almond really sweetens the peppermint and takes some of the sharp edge that peppermint traditionally has right off, and so it's just this sweet kind of marshmallowy, wonderful fragrance. I will be using this again in one of my winter collections, but it's honestly perfect all year round. The 6th soap in the Secret Soap series is the one we turned black and white for the camera after I put the embeds on. This is the final version. It is inspired by the first book in Narnia, The Magician's Nephew. On top we have the silver apple, which is very, very important. I'm not going to tell you everything about it if you haven't read it, but it's a very important part of that book. And 2 rings that our main characters Diggory and Polly use to actually jump in between worlds. There's a green ring and a yellow ring they both take. So we have both green and yellow on the top. And then the inside of the soap is a visual representation of what I think of when I heard about what the in-between worlds look like. It's described as a lush green place with lots of different ponds you can jump into. So we have a strip of green to kind of separate the 2 different ponds. And then of course we have the magic rings on the top. And as far as like looks and designs go, this is maybe my favorite just because I feel like it encapsulates that whole thing pretty good. It is fragranced with a custom apple blend for the silver apple on top. So I used Winter Candy Apple from Nature's Garden and Red Delicious Apple from Nature's Garden. I used an equal amount of both, so 50-50. And then we have the 7th and final soap inspired by the final soap in the series, The Last Battle. This was something else I didn't stamp on camera for you guys, but I'll show it to you now. It is a picture of Aslan, and on top we have the words further up and further in. Now I have found that this book has been quite divisive for people who like Narnia. It seems that a lot of people really love it and felt that it was very symbolic and that Narnia got the final book that it deserved, and other people felt like it left a lot of questions in the air. But I can only tell you how I feel about it, and I did feel like it was the perfect end. I listened to this on audiobook via Audible while I was making this soap series so that I would have all of this imagery fresh in my mind and to keep me inspired. And hardly a time that I listened to that was there a dry eye. I was crying a lot. They bring back some characters that you love and you miss. Aslan is magnanimous, he is loving, and he is kind, and it just felt so complete to me. So this is scented with tobacco leaf and amber from Wholesale Supplies Plus. It is a warm, comforting, sort of sweet smell. I have used it before in the Sherlock Holmes soap. It also used to be part of my standard line whenever I had the tobacco pipe diamond soaps, body lotions, and perfume oils. So I'm very familiar with it. I just felt like it was going to be a perfect fit for Aslan. And then it also discolors the soap just a little bit, so there's like kind of yellow and kind of brown together. We have the crown on top, obviously, because Aslan is king. And that is my explanation for the 2022 Secret Soap series. The last thing that I have to tell you about before we get to the giveaway is, of course, the hints. At the end of the video, we left you guys hints. We had the absolutely fabulously, just beyond talented Natasha make this image for us. Please check out her art down below. The first hint is the beehive for the Bulgy Bears' honey. The second hint is a horse for the horse and his boy. The third hint is King Peter's sword. This is what he used to defend his sisters against the wolf that chases them up a tree. It is also what he uses in battle many times, and is a gorgeous prop in the movie. That's why I chose that one. It also would throw you off a little bit. For the Dawn Treader, we obviously have Reepicheep's boat sailing away in the background. For the Great Snow Dance, our entire scene is now covered in snow. For the Wood Between the Worlds, we have the Silver Apple Tree. And for the last battle, we have Aslan himself looking back at you, potentially beckoning you to follow him into the magical land of Narnia. Let's talk about the giveaway. So I wanted this giveaway to be a complete experience, whether or not you have read the books. If you have already read the books, I hope that this will just enhance the experience over for you. And if you've never read the books and you happen to win this, I hope that it just completely transports you to Narnia itself. First, I got you the box set of books because you want all of your covers to match. Let's face it, they're brand new. The art is stunning. To keep your place in the books, I got you this beautiful bookmark from A Fine Quotation. It has all of the characters on it, and it is very high quality. It's stitched on the sides. It's never going to fray. And of course, when you're reading your book, you want to have some tea, right? So I got this Narnia tea box from Bow Tea Studio. It comes with 2 different Narnia inspired teas. And what are you going to put the tea in? Well, of course you will put it in this beautiful mug. Also from A Fine Quotation, this is Aslan, and on the back it says, "Courage, dear heart." Now that you have your books and your bookmark and your tea in your teacup, you need to light a candle. So I have here this gorgeous Dawn Treader candle from Library Botanicals. It smells absolutely amazing. And finally, I have a miniature something, because I know you guys like cute tiny things as much as I do. So I had my friend Cassie at Sparrowberry create this custom ceramic dino that is Narnia inspired. The little dino has the Narnian crown and also the lamppost scene on his side. Like I said before, instructions for entering the giveaway is down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You can shop the entire collection today at royaltysoaps.com. Thank you to everyone on my team who made this possible, especially to Caroline and Caleb for helping me get the idea and helping me stay organized. I'd also like to thank my mother because, here I go, getting teary again, because she was the first person to introduce us to the Narnia books as children. She has read them out loud multiple times to me and to all my siblings younger than me. Just so you guys know, my mom reads out loud to my siblings every single night. That's what she used to do for me, and we have read so many chapter books that way, so she was definitely a crucial and pivotal part of this collection becoming a reality. Have an absolutely amazing day. Also, if you like me filming filming in a homey style background, let me know, because I just think Will's room is so nice to look at. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today. Go read a new book. Maybe one that's been on your bucket list for a while, but you just haven't picked up. Enter the giveaway down below. You can sign up for our email newsletter where we will announce the next soap collection theme, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, bye for now.